بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. So the previous lecture went through the word i'lam, meaning know, that you should know, which is a form of imperative. It is an imperative verb, meaning that the author is requesting you to perform the act of knowing something linguistically. And ilm, which is the infinitive, the masdar of i'lam, has three, as do all verbs, three forms or tenses, I should say. The past tense, right here, past, present, and imperative. So just as a small recap, you write out the three letters consecutively, and the first one and the third one should have fatha. The second one has a haraka depending on the second, depending on the word. So ilm always has kasra on the second letter in past tense. Present, you the meaning of this, the past tense here, is he knew. Right. So in the present tense, it will obviously mean he knows. So then you start by writing a ya and then the three letters. Like this. And then a fatha. The second gets a sukoon, and the third one, the third fundamental letter that is, gets a dhamma. And the second letter also gets a letter which is dependent on the word itself that you are expressing in the present form. So ilm always has a fatha. So sometimes these two harakat, they coincide, but often they do not. In the past tense and the present tense, the fatha is most prevalent. So in both tenses, fatha is most prevalent, most common, but kasra is also, it exists, and most uncommon is the dhamma. And the imperative is a derivative of the present form. So you take a hamzatul wasl and then you write the rest of the word with a sukoon here. Okay, so ya'lamu becomes i'lam, and the haraka here is the same as the one on the second letter, except in the case of a fatha where it takes a kasra. Okay, so it's also, one can say that it's a derivative of this haraka. In most, two of three cases, 2/3 of the cases, it is the same. So if it's a dhamma here, it's a dhamma here. Like in sajada yasjudu usjud. Usjud meaning prostrate. Make sujud. Okay. Fatha if it's a kasra, like to hit someone. ضرب يضرب اضرب. So there's اضرب, there's a kasra on the ra, meaning to hit someone. Then the kasra also comes on the hamzat al-wasl. Okay, but in the case of a fatha, that's the exception to the rule. You get a kasra here. Okay, i'lam. i'lam meaning know. So this is he knows. He knows. No. This is an imperative. With regards to the verb, you also have commonly two roles related to the verb or in connection to the verb. So you have one who is performing the act. That is the verb of the act of the verb, to hit, which is a good example. So you have ضرب. ضرب here, meaning to hit someone. This is to know, to hit. And I can actually add someone here. There's no harm in that. So past tense is a let's see. So علم يعلم اعلم. علم يعلم. It has kasra and then a fatha. ضرب has the opposite. Fatha and then kasra. Okay, so that means we should write the three letters. Fatha here. And the fatha here. So I told you that it's the opposite of this one, right? So it will go this way as well. So ضرب, he hit. Present tense. يضرب. يضرب. And the imperative, which is a derivative of the present form. What's the resulting word? Kasra, just as in the present form. Sukoon. And this is a kasra as well. اضرب, meaning hit. So to hit someone, you have, on the one hand, you have the person who is hitting. Okay, and then you have also another related role, which is the one who is affected by the verb, by the act, the one who is being hit. Okay, so if I would say that Zaid hit Zaid hit the man. Okay. Zaid hit the man. Yeah, I'll just add these as well. So when the default structure of a verbal sentence, which is what we will be writing here, we will be expressing it, is that first you have the verb, then the actor, or verb or act, and then you have the what is acted upon. So it's 1, 2, 3. That's the standard order of words. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so Zaid hit the man. Then we will say, because hit is the verb, so hit first, and then Zaid, because he is the one hitting, and the man third, as he is the one being hit. Okay, so you take this, ضرب, and then you have زيد. And I've been saying that the dhamma is the default haraka for words, right? Which is true. This is the case. But in this case, particularly this one, Zaid is the one who is performing the act. He's an actor. He's an actor. So the actor in Arabic grammar always, the standard case is that he will get dhamma. Okay, so it is not the default dhamma here. It is because he is the one performing an act. Okay, and then you have the man. The man is, I mean, the word for man is rajul. Rajul. That's the default haraka right there. Okay, but now I will tell you that the one being affected by an act always gets the fatha, a fatha. Okay, so we will write the man. Here we go. So ضرب زيد الرجل الرجل. Exactly. ضرب زيد الرجل. And this is the case generally in Arabic. Okay, so the one being affected by an act gets the fatha. Okay, ضرب زيد الرجل. Let's see here. ضرب زيد الرجل. Yeah. Okay. So here in the case of the text here, rahimaka الله. اعلم رحمك الله. رحمك الله is the same sentence structure actually. It's a verbal sentence. But let's break it down. Okay. So I will just move this down a bit. Like this. Okay. So first we have the three letters here. They're actually a word of itself, in itself. So this is something a brother actually talked about. This is something a brother actually mentioned in the server. He says, well, is it one word or is it two words, right? So the waw, meaning and, is not separated by a space in Arabic. So if you say, for example, and Zaid, you do it without a space. Maybe this is a bit too cramped, but you get the idea, right? So, وزيد, زيد وعمر, عمر وزيد. So there's no space here. So it would be incorrect to write it like this. Wa Zaid. Okay, you don't do that. So in a sense, this is one word because it's not separated. The letters here are not separated by space. But in a sense as well, they are two words because they are distinguishable from each other semantically. They mean different things. And they are separable. We could put wow in front of something else instead. Okay, so that's just a little detail on the side. So, rahimaka Allah. rahimaka Allah. Okay. Let's see here. So rahima is actually a verb in past tense. Rahima. Rahima. Like alima, right? Rahima means to show rahma. And I will spell this one out here and conjugate it. Rahmatun. So here it is, kasra, fatha, just as alima ya'lamu. Rahima. Yarhamu. And what's the imperative? Think of this one and process it. Inshallah, you can process it like without resorting to pen and paper. Irham. Irham. Rahima yarhamu irham. Meaning to show mercy. Okay. So here we have the past tense of the word rahima yarhamu, to show mercy. Okay. So this is actually a nuance you need to get used to, inshallah. He, you know, as we said, he knew. So linguistically, this would be he showed mercy, right? I will not save this to the picture, because he is now replaced by, because we have Allahu. So Allah is the one performing the act of showing mercy. Okay, so I will just remove he, and let's take 3 dots here to show that it's connected by the word here. Okay, so this is the one performing this word. Allah is lafz al-jalala, is the one performing the act of rahmah here. Okay. Let me fill this out as well. Allah, which gets the dhamma. Okay, lafz al-jalala gets the dhamma. Allah showed mercy upon, and here we have actually a pronoun, a personal pronoun, I believe it's called, and the meaning is you. Okay, because it's a pronoun and lafz al-jalala is not a pronoun, what should have come here, which is anta. Anta meaning you. Anta. I will just write here. You. Because it's a pronoun. A pronoun behaves differently in the sense that a pronoun is not. It's like it's not conjugatable in a sense. Okay, you cannot apply different harakat to it. You can't say, okay, anta, and then you get a dhamma on it, and then, or you put a kasra on it, or, I mean, for the sake of a different word and its role and its relation in relation to that word, you know. That's not how pronouns work, because pronouns are, I believe you could say that they are inflexible. Allah knows best. Inflexible, which in Arabic is called mabni, which means mabni. And mabni means literally means constructed or built, in the sense that it is not flexible. It is not something that changed. It is built. It is constructed. It is already done. Okay, so the structure of this word has already been completed. It is not like eligible for changes in structure. That's the kind of sense which is conveyed by the word mabni. Okay, so anta, meaning you, will let's see here. It is the default form of the pronoun of the second person masculine. Okay, so second person, which means the one you're talking to. Okay, if I'm talking to you, you're the second person. I'm the first person because I'm beginning with myself. Second person is the one I am speaking to, and the third person is the person I am speaking of. Okay, so the feminine form of this would be anti, right? And the first person here would be ana, which is both masculine and feminine. It's not gender specific. Okay, so in any case, if you're supposed to, let's see here. If anta is mentioned or would be mentioned in a sentence in which it would be receiving a fatha because of its relation to the other words, this one in this case, it would be receive a fatha because of its relation. It is the word that is receiving or is being affected by the act of rahma in this case. Okay, so it should actually receive a fatha, and disregarding the fact that it already has a fatha, it is mabni. It's inflexible, so it doesn't. I mean, the rules of let's say conjugation or however you may call it does not apply. They do not apply to the inflexible words. Okay. So what happens is that anta is converted or transformed into ka, which is in a sense, it is related to this word ta and ka. So there is some theories as to why this relation exists, or what the relation is between ta and anta, or I mean ka and anta. But in any case, the short and sweet of it is that if anta is supposed to receive a fatha because of another word in the sentence and its relation to it, it becomes ka. And not only that, it becomes a ka which is connected to the word. Okay, so the word that is connected to, in meaning, it will be connected to even in writing. So it moves, even though it is supposed to be mentioned after the word who is performing the act of rahma, because of its being a pronoun, it gets to skip line and connect directly to the verb. Okay, this is the reason why there is a non-standard order of words here. Rahimaka. So the fatha here is not because it is the word. I mean, the kaf is the one being affected by rahma. It is because that's the way the word is spelled. It's an inflexible word. It is not. I mean, it is not affected by the harakat that come from the relation to other words. Okay. Okay, that was a mouthful, I can imagine. So, showed you mercy, Allah. This means that Allah showed you mercy. Mercy. This is the literal meaning. Okay, the literal meaning, strictly. Okay, strictly speaking, but linguists say about Arabic that its tenses, meaning the past, present, and imperative, they are weak. So let's write here Arabic has weak tenses. Okay, weak tenses, meaning that just because the word is expressed in the past tense or the present tense, or let's say the past tense specifically, does not guarantee that the meaning of the sentence that you're expressing, the resulting meaning, does not necessarily need to be corresponding to that tense. It does not have to be that the actual act happened already. Okay, so for example, an example of that is the hadith. I can't remember the actual wording, but the Prophet ﷺ said about going to the bathroom or the toilet. When you go into the toilet, this is the English translation, and which is widespread and widely known, that when you enter the toilet, say Bismillah or Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-khubuthi wal-khaba'ith, right? But the actual Arabic is إذا دخلت Allah alam, I don't dare to guess the word, but إذا دخلت, meaning literally when you have entered. دخلت, إذا دخلت. I can actually write this out. إذا, sorry, دخلت. You obviously may not know this, but ta here means also anta, meaning anta. When a dhamma is supposed to be applied to it, when a dhamma comes to anta, it becomes ta. And that's interesting, but inshallah, Allah, it will make sense later. So dakhala is the past tense of dukhul, to enter something. Dakhala yadkhulu udkhul. He entered, he's entering, and enter. Udkhul. Dakhala yadkhulu udkhul. Okay, so dakhala becomes dakhalta when you have entered. So the hadith, the wording of the hadith is literally إذا دخلت. Allah alam if it's hammam or Allah ya'lam. إذا دخلت, when you have entered. Okay, but the ulama have said that this is not the correct explanation of this expression. Okay, the correct interpretation is if you are going to enter, and this is allowed in Arabic because why? Arabic has weak tenses. Okay, so when you're expressing a dua, and this brother was actually asking about this a couple of days ago in the server. He said, how do you express a dua? May Allah, and something. So this is the way you mention it in the past tense most commonly. Rahimaka Allah means may Allah show you mercy. Okay, and it's known, it's understood. This is implied by the context. May Allah show you mercy. It's implied by the context. If you say someone, if you hear someone, for example, saying قاتله الله or لعنه الله, or رحمه الله, رحمه الله, meaning may. قاتله الله, يعني may Allah will like fight him or defeat him. لعنه الله, may Allah curse him, may Allah curse him. Okay, and شفاه الله, may Allah heal him and cure him, etc. So بإذن الله تعالى this will be sufficient for this lesson. And سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.